Hello everyone, Ron again, and in this video we're going to talk about syncopation. So first, we're going to talk about what syncopation is. The simple definition for syncopation is when the stroke does not land on the beat. So you'll remember from the previous videos about timing that the beat is a quarter note. And one way to understand how to create a drum rhythm or a pattern that is interesting is to think about not landing on the beat purposefully. Now, there's nothing wrong with landing on the beat, and you might opt to do that and play something that sounds like a march, right? Or have drum rolls that land on the beat, or a cymbal swell, and those would end on like beat 1. And those things are all cool. But another way to approach it is through syncopation. So I have a copy of Flex here, and Flex is a native FL plugin, one that I've been growing to love recently because of how good the sounds are. The idea behind Flex is that the sounds are already created and you just adjust them so they sound good whether you do anything to them or not, but you just adapt them to your own project. So let's look at this. I have another example here that's set up and the quarter notes are in blue, and these other notes that are down here are muted. So I'm going to start off by playing these quarter notes so you can hear what they sound like. And then I'm going to play the other notes so you can see how the dynamic of this changes when it's not just on the beat. And so it's going to be a simple lesson. Here we go. Now that was cool. It sounded nice because the sound sounds nice, right? But ultimately it was just the same thing and a little bit stagnant. So what we're going to do now is add some syncopation to it, meaning that some of these beats will not fall directly on the quarter note. And as an aside, I guess I could point out maybe a different type of note as well. So let's see what that sounds like. Here we go. So as you can see, even though the example with just quarter notes sounded good, they were all the same pitch, and there was nothing wrong with that. The second one is just far more interesting rhythmically. And I also put a shift in the note because that just sounded good to me. And I left the second quarter note unmuted because it sounds good given the syncopation. So the idea here is that you're going to combine syncopated and unsyncopated notes. Because every so often, you might want the rhythm to land on the beat just so you can maintain where the beat is, or maybe the rhythm landing on the beat fits the beat like it did in this case. And this is not a rhythmic example using a drum. It's actually using a synthesizer, a pluck sound that is from Flex. So it shows you how the idea of syncopation can be useful anywhere. And so on to something I didn't discuss about timing. Here you have a 16th note, a way that if you're learning to read music, that something might be written is to have a particular note with a dot after it. And if you add a dot to something, then it adds half of the value of that note. So let's say that we elongate the 16th note to an eighth note. An eighth note is normally worth 2/16 notes, but if I added a dot to it, then it would be worth 3/16 notes. And I say that because there are times where you'll see plugins will communicate that way. Like if you have Replica by Native Instruments, it will have a dotted value for the delay time. So you might see like an eighth note and then you can switch it and it'll say dotted, or it'll say straight, or it'll say milliseconds. But that's something to be aware of. So that's what that means. If you have a dotted something, that means it's the original note value plus half. So if you had a dotted quarter note, it would be worth 3/8 notes. If you had a dotted eighth note, it's worth 3/16 notes, and so on. And if you made it this far in the video, then I thank you for watching. This is a simple lesson, and I hope that it is helpful to you. And as usual, have an awesome day. Peace.